Right. Happy Monday. This Monday's feeling really energized. I'm getting lots of information coming through that wants to be shared. And by the way, there's just like this amazing display. Halloween glamour. Hang on, can you just check this out? The world's biggest cat. Look at it. It's bigger than freaking, I don't even know, like, is their house. Look at it. They could see the tail from the window. Love it. My dog doesn't love it. She gets freaked out. She's interested, and then she's like, okay, this is strange. But just look at this. Isn't this amazing? Just giving you a little tour. I have the cutest neighborhood I get to walk through. So I just wanted to give you a little treat. Okay, back to the stuff that's coming through today. So much. Oh my God. I'm like, I can't keep up with all the things coming through. So I'm just posting them as they're coming through. And feel free to, check out my feed today and like see what's resonating. I mean, they're coming through so fast and hot that it's like people must need to hear this today. They're just coming in. So, which is kind of like a nod to like, what it is to be tuned into source, to universal wisdom that wants to pour through, which is really the topic today that also is showing up as like, speak to me. So I want to speak on all the posts that I wrote today, but I'm going to speak to something else entirely separately right now, which is admitting that you're a seasonal creature. I think most people just don't even know they're seasonal creatures. I mean, women have more of an idea because we have cycles. We have menstrual cycles, lunar cycles. So I think women are more in touch with and those that have uteruses are more in touch with their cycles just because we experience it every month. A shedding, right? And a stillness where we want to hibernate when we bleed. And then the like follicular stage where we're building back up. And then ovulation when we're just like bouncing off the walls. Like usually when I'm ovulating, I'm like up all night. So anyway, you start to tune into your own body and your own cycles when you have that as part of your existence. And for men, I believe that they have their own kind of cycles. I'm not an expert in that, but I think men, all human beings have cycles, at least with their hormones, and then we just have our own patterns. Like, do you ever notice like you get sick at the same time every year, and you have cycles in your relationships where you like kind of spin around the same thing that you argue about? Like, we all have cycles if you just look in your life. And so if you can just admit that you're cyclical, not like it's something you're denying. I don't know if anyone's walking around denying I'm not cyclical, but it's like, I mean, like acknowledging it and owning it. And why that's important is that once you really get that you're a cyclical creature, then you get to really work with the seasons. There's the seasons, like the external expression that we all see, right? Like we're moving into autumn right now. And there's also energetic seasons that we experience. So energetic seasons sometimes match the external, but a lot of times they don't. And that's a trip. That can be a trip to internally be experiencing, autumn, like where things in your life are coming down and being dismantled and being asked to be released. And the rest of the world, like externally, might look like spring, right? Like where new things are budding, and instead you're feeling like, why is my world coming apart? Like, actually, that happened with COVID, right? COVID landed, was it around March 13th? Spring equinox is March 20th. And so, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, right? I'm speaking to, that's where I'm at. We were in spring. So it really matched the Southern Hemisphere, and like they were actually in autumn. But there's been a dismantling. We're still in the dismantling. We're in this long autumn of releasing what no longer serves. And then yet, the external seasons are still shifting, right? So we went through spring and then summer, and now we're entering fall. But I'm sharing this because Mother Nature is a dominatrix. So what does that mean? It means that Like, how do I define dominatrix? And this is something that I've just been really experiencing in my life and tapping into the energetics, like power dynamics. And I bring that into my work with my manifestation work that I teach. Because I've been worked by the seasons, and when you're worked by the seasons, I would call it like, tough love, or you could think of a dominatrix in that sense. But there's this like tenderness. There's a tenderness to Mother Nature, and a wisdom and a strength and a like standing for something. Like Mother Nature is just a stand for our growth and our cycles. That's why we cycle. It's for our evolution, and I'm just feeling into what wants to be said about that. When we don't acknowledge or really own that we're cyclical creatures and work with the seasons and allow the seasons to work us, then we end up missing out, or we're learning the hard way. Like, we don't have to learn through so much suffering. Like, yes, life is painful. Like, I love the quote, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. And I mean, those are all definitions we could explore further. But for now, I just making the point that if you can just surrender to being worked by the seasons, then life gets to be so much richer. There'll be pain, and it'll be really uncomfortable a lot of the time, but not all the time. Sometimes it's like a freaking celebration, and life is like everything's coming up roses, and like life can't get any better, right? And so there's these like blissful, ecstatic moments, and there's also like, on your knees moments, and that's why the seasons are so beautiful, like the wisdom they teach us. So autumn obviously teaching us the shedding of what no longer serves, and composting. Like, we compost the things that we've been holding on to that actually aren't nourishing our life, that are actually not in alignment with who we say we are and who we want to be and how we want our life to go. And how we want our life to go, not from an ego perspective, but from a real deep truth perspective. So I think for a lot of people maybe watching this video, like, what is your relationship to the truth? Like, what are you actually in service to? And if you don't know what you're in service to, then that's pretty much the first place to start. I start with, in my curriculum in autumn, like releasing what no longer serves, because oftentimes, the way I see it, like, you don't really know what you're in service to if you're still clinging to everything from your past, like clinging to relationships that should work, or clinging to a business that should work. All these like shoulds. It should work, or it should be like this. Or like things that limit you, like, okay, I want to, create a lucrative lifestyle, but I have all these scarcity thoughts, like, that limit abundance to come to me, or limit me from sharing myself in the world and creating prosperity and community and the momentum that comes with being someone who's really on fire in the world. So when we have all these limiting beliefs in the background, that really sabotages us from showing up to our lives. So that's why we start in autumn, and then we really get connected to, well, what is the truth? What am I actually in service to as we go into winter? And the winter is perfect for that, right? Like, there's this beautiful opportunity to hibernate, and I want you to see this tree. Look at this tree. There's nature. Winter gives us the opportunity to hibernate and like shut up. Most of us just never shut up, right? Our minds don't shut up figuring it out. We're always trying to figure something out, trying to get somewhere. And winter is a really beautiful time to really be, the quintessential Zen. But there's more than just being Zen. There's also like dissolution, like dissolving, and it's like death. It feels like, it's certainly an ego death. As you shed through autumn, it's an opportunity to die energetically, to release. You're literally releasing an operating system from your body in autumn. And so when you release all this operating system from your body, you just it leads you naturally into winter. You dissolve into no thing, and then you actually get to taste who you actually are at the essence of you, which is a very spiritual concept, right? Like who you are isn't just this body, it's like this spirit incarnated, right, into form. So you get to taste who you actually are. It's so humbling and so beautiful. And then what naturally arises out of winter is this, like, well then, if this is who I am, and this is what I'm in service to, like for me, I get to learn over and over, like I'm in service to love. So if who I am is just this like love ball, this love bug, this like blob of love running around with legs, if I'm in service to that, what does that look like in the world? What does that look like in my marriage? What does that look like as a sister to my siblings, as a daughter to my parents? I'm certainly not amazing at it, but I'm in service to it, and that's where we start. And then, in my business, like, what am I offering in the world as a contribution in those roles, in those vocational roles as wife, daughter, sister, but also in my vocation and in my profession where I generate income is being a coach and a facilitator for other people. And so how am I in service to love then, and, in service to love is like being in service to truth. In a way, I'm a dominatrix in the way that I facilitate, and that I tenderly offer a conviction, like a stand for my clients that like, I'm here to serve the truth. I'm not here to serve anyone else's, all those limiting beliefs that you have. I'm here to help you dismantle them. I'm not here to have you think you know what you want to create in your life. I'm actually here for you to get a taste of who you are, and for you to have the thing that wants to be created through you be a realization, something that you realize, like, oh, that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm in service to, and that's what makes me like. There's like a sharpness, like a holding for that I'm in service to, right? But then there's a softness because it's ultimately just love. I'm just here for you to experience love as who you are, right? So where are you, have you really acknowledged deeply that you're a seasonal being? Are you allowing yourself to submit yourself to the seasons? Are you willing to be humbled, humiliated? And by humiliated, I don't mean degraded. I just mean like on your knees, tasting the earth. Humiliated comes from the word humus, earth. So, the work that I teach is like supporting people in getting on their knees, right? In service to the thing that just has you ecstatic, actually, right? It's not subservient. It's like an undeniable, I must serve this thing. And so beyond spring, right? So spring is where we really, in the manifestation process, we submit this thing that wants to be birthed through us. So like for me, it's my business. Like my business is a love offering from a dominatrix, from me as an energetic dominatrix, right? Just like Mother Nature offers us loving fierceness. And so in spring we have this opportunity, like, is this the time to plant the seed? Is the soil fertile for this? Have I tilled the soil? And that's where autumn and winter come in, right? Because like, if you haven't tilled the soil, like, why would you plant something in soil where it's not going to be supported? It's like silly. It's not going to work. But people try, like most of the time, people with like goal setting and manifestation, they take the thing that they want to create, which it's usually a place that they think they want, and a place they want to get to, and something they want to get from life. There's a getting quality, which is where all the desperation comes from, and like the urgency and the gripping and the attachments. And I've been there. I've learned all this. That's why I teach it now, right? And so once you get the green light, like, yes, this is the time to plant the seed. You've been tilling the soil. You've been dismantling what no longer serves. You've been cleaning up karma from your life, your conditioning, and you've been cleaning up karma for your family, for your bloodline. Huge. And you've sat and listened without needing to get anywhere or figure anything out. You've sat and listened for the thing that you're actually in service to. And then you actually asked and submitted that thing that wants to be birthed through you. You asked for permission. Is this the time? There's a reverence to it. And so the journey continues beyond spring. Is like summer is all about this more external expression of like, okay, so you've gotten permission for the thing, now what? Now it's like, how do I show up in my life externally that matches what I say I'm in service to? How do I manage my own sense of worthiness of this thing that I am a transmission for? Which means like, how do I honor my own energy? How do I honor my own time? How do I honor my gifts? How do I honor where I need support? How do I honor that? How do I revere that with my actions? Like, what do I do every day that shows that I honor my time, my energy, my gifts, and my, whatever I need to support me in gestating and birthing this thing that is asking to be birthed? And so that's summer. And so summer is like, oh yeah, you want to birth this thing? Show me in your life. How are you actually in service to the thing that you say you're in service to? Are you sharing what you're up to with people? Are you actually like so loco for the thing that you're in service to? Like, that's what it is to be in service. Like, you're just loco for it. You're just like, I can't help it. Everyone needs to know that I just love whatever this thing that I'm creating. So for me, I love people. And so I love loving you. And so I love having this program where you get to go be worked by the seasons. That's why the journey I offer is a year long. We get to be worked by the seasons together. I'm being worked by the seasons, but I'm willing to be worked by the seasons because I'm submitting to it. Because it's in service to me, and it's in service to life. And see how that works? And that's how manifestation, in my opinion, that's the beauty of it, is like, and how it should work, is that there's like this mutual in service. I'm in service to life, and life is in service to me. And it's like, we don't even know where it ends and where it starts. It just becomes this synergy, this synchrony. And then you'll know when you're getting to the end of summer and it's time to harvest and you come back to fall again, you'll be like, oh, it's time for this to be an ultimate transmission. Like, I've been pouring myself into this, like cleaning up where I've like messed up my energetics. Like you'll clean up, like I've been doing this, getting some tough lessons and like cleaning up where I say I'm in service to love and where it's not true, like with my actions, where it's not aligned, where I'm, poorly managing situations. I'm, poorly communicating. I'm hiding. I'm not wanting to look bad. Check out my video about where I've been cleaning up my messes. It's like, that's what summer is. It's like cleaning up your messes, but also getting really excited and celebrating what you're here in service to. Like, there's this, it's kind of evangelical in a way. Like I just love loving people. So like, I have to tell you now, like I can't deny it or hide it or lie about it. Like, I love you. That's what I'm here to do, is love people. And one of the ways that I'm doing that I've gotten the green light for, is this offering of the Manifestation of Vocal Power Academy, where within it, we all get worked by the seasons together. It's pretty cool. And then, when it's time to harvest, you'll be ready to just be this utter aligned transmission. You just, like, who you've become in the manifestation process actually begets the outcome that you probably thought you originally wanted. It'll be something like that, or maybe completely different from the original thing you come into the manifestation work with. Like for me, it was always around my business, but, and how I would really love to create a lucrative career, having an impact on people. And that is there for me still, but really, like, what's shifted for me in my own manifestation process is I'm just a stand for people being worked by the seasons, like getting the magic of life, like getting, like I want everyone to have the magic of life. And if you don't submit to Mother Nature, if you don't submit to the fact that you're a seasonal being and being worked by the seasons, whether you know it or not, then you miss out on so much of the magic of life. You miss out on like the deep nourishing and like that synergy I was talking about, where life's serving you and you're serving life. There's something so breathtaking, like it just, there's no words for it. And I want that for people. So you can tell I'm in summer, right? You can tell I'm in this like, oh, cleanup phase and like evangelical, like sharing phase. I'm in summer. And I don't know when harvest will come for me, like the actual birthing, like the ultimate transmission. And again, the transmission never ends. It's not like you arrive and then you're done. It's like you'll continue processing and those seasons will continue to work me. But there'll be a moment of like landing, and I can feel it's already happening. Like I'm starting really to land in right alignment with my being and this offering and what I'm in service to. And so my anticipation, it's around Halloween, but I think that's my due date. But as we know, we're often usually surprised by our due dates. As women know, it's often not the due date we think. So I just wanted to share this, that if you can submit to Mother Nature as a dominatrix, your life just gets sweeter. It doesn't mean it gets less uncomfortable or less painful, but there's less suffering. And magic starts to happen. Like I just meet the right people now. I get the right books in my handed to me. I get opportunities handed to me, people coming into my life out of nowhere. Like things just start to line up because my life is lining up. I'm in service to life and life's in service to me. That's how it works. That's manifestation, or the process of manifestation, right? Okay, I think that's enough for now, but I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. And if you want to know what it's like to be worked by the seasons, to be worked by a dominatrix in the most tender, fierce way, then I invite you into the Manifestation Vocal Power Academy. But you must, prerequisite is like, you can't just like stroll into this year-long journey. I want you to have a taste of it first to see if it's the right fit for you and for me. And so we have a 4-workshop series, which is like a down and dirty crash course into my method. It's an 8-phase method based on the Wheel of the Year and the 4 seasons, and you get a taste of it. And it's a deep dive. Like it requires even just a lot of work for you and commitment. So when you jump into this prerequisite called the Manifest Like a Mother Incubator, which starts this Friday, you're committing to all 4 workshops, and you're committing to yourself, really. You're taking that first step of like, what's it like to be in service to myself, and what's it like to have life in service to me. And then you get to see if you want to take the year-long journey, which is the way to go, in my opinion, because your life is going to work you anyway. So you might as well get the support. And so you get 8 weekend workshops with me in the year-long academy. You get one-on-one sessions with me, which is huge. To get personalized attention, that's a high-touch experience. So that's my gift to you. This first year is like, it's kind of like my residency is what I'm considering it. So it's going to be the most affordable it'll ever be. I don't know what it'll be next year when I offer this again next fall. The doors won't open again until next fall. So if you're considering it, this is the time to do it. And make sure you get in by this Friday to do the incubator, because it's a prerequisite. What else do you get in the year-long academy? So 8 weekend intensives, 4 one-on-one sessions with me, as well as 4 group coaching sessions. Because transformation in group is just like amazing. And I want that for everyone too. And there's guest facilitators at every single weekend workshop. So it's not just me blabbing the whole time. They're very interactive. You get paired up with a partner. So you really get to build intimacy with people. So if you're craving community, which a lot of us are these days, I recommend that. So yeah, and super affordable. Like people pay for yoga subscriptions, TV subscriptions for the cost of this program to actually work in tandem with life. And by the end of the year, whether you manifest the original outcome you think you want, you'll realize that you are fundamentally different. You actually are in deeper alignment by the end of the year with who you are and who you're actually committed to being and what you're actually in service to. And if there's anything that you can get from life, or I think that's pretty powerful, right? So if you have any questions, drop it in the comments below. And thanks for tuning in to nature.